Costa to, move, I guess, more quickly on remedying the problem. So I don't think that's, I could be wrong when I ask the attorney, I don't think that sort of vote is required. I think if someone volunteers, is that okay?
Will,
Yeah.
Mr.
The task force was started about 2016, if I'm not mistaken, when these frequent heavy rains in Valdosta would overflow their sewage plant with the Pt2 River, and then it would flow down into the Swanee, and it was having an adverse effect on a lot of people south of there. And a big part of the problem too, since we're an ag county, is farmers are getting blamed for a lot of nitrates in the water. And we pointed out also, look at the millions of gallons with that heavy amount of nitrates in it that's coming down the river. And then when they do studies south of with the Coochie, now it's this farmers of Swanee County and Hamilton County that get blamed for a lot of this. So that was a big reason the task force was started, to try to protect the Swanee and Levy and Gilchrist County and the people farther down in Lafayette County farmers, to help them out with showing that there's another issue with nitrates in the river besides the farming that they keep getting blamed about. And that's where that all started.
now I remember, that problem with Valdosta and contamination, even when we have these floods. But now this task force, will they meet here in Swanee County, or will we meet in Valdosta?
They do have a couple of meetings here during the year, I understand, and they do try to set meetings with the council in Valdosta, so it could be a combination. And I don't think there's a regular schedule.
There's not a regular schedule. I think the last one they actually had was in Valdosta. And Valdosta now, they've put a lot of money into their infrastructure, but it's still in a bad situation. It's in a real low part of town by the airport, is where it all happens, and it just overflows into the Withlacoochee. Right. They just haven't been able to completely stop it yet.
So you need a volunteer
I
task force?
think that would that be appropriate, just to have volunteers?
Well, I'd love to serve that on that task force, since I do familiar with some of that stuff.
What, the only thing about that would be for me and you to be on it, if we potentially come up for re-election next year, whereas those three down there have tenure, so have, at least 3 more years remaining. So in the event that the meetings don't start until
And they would have another one probably this year.
This year,
Talking with
yeah.
Mr. Dale.
And
They'd have one, they'd probably have a couple before next year, at least 2 maybe 3.
I smile and laugh, but I'm planning on running for re-election. I don't know what you're planning on doing. And I'm planning on winning the campaign as well. And so, now, whatever you decide, but what I'm trying to do is get re-elected. I love my job. So,
I don't think
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Anyone else interested? Is there a consensus? Councilman Jefferson?
Yeah,
I think I'll be a good representative. That is all about it.
It was a volunteer basis, we don't need consensus.
Okay, I'll contact Mr. Dale. Thank you, that's all I have.
all right, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
All right, so we have an agenda item added under 5A. Ms. Robinson?
Okay, that's about the agenda item, about agendas, that was, conversation started earlier in this meeting. To start it off, I think where a lot of the confusion has come in about what can be placed on the agenda, when can it be placed, is basically on how we have been doing business. Initially, when we started off, we made contact with the city clerk. We told him, we sent an email, called him, or sent a telegraph, or however, and said, I want this placed on the agenda. The city manager requested that, so that he would not be blindsided about what's on the agenda, he wanted to know in advance so that he could be prepared. We are in a city manager type government here. Okay, so I understand his point of view of not being blindsided. But, and then I don't think that was working where we were meeting with the city manager as to, before putting things on board, letting him know in advance what was going on the agenda. Then maybe it was last month or month before, it was just all out of the blue, a consent agenda was presented before us, which I had issues with because of the fact that we are the legislative body up here.
Correct.
And it is us who leads the city, and we are the ones who give direction to the manager as the direction to go. But, so the question comes, does everything have to be approved by the city manager before it goes on the agenda? No, you have an option, just as what we have done here, was to add or delete or modify the agenda. But the courtesy of letting the city manager know what you are going to or would like to have discussed, so that he would not be blindsided, or to have the necessary persons here represented from the staff who can answer those questions that you may present. So that is the question or what we are concerned about. But with Gladys asking, Councilwoman Owens asking the question, do we have to go through the city manager? No, we do not. You do not have to, but courtesy of letting him know so that he will not be blindsided, or she, whoever city manager is, of what you're trying to accomplish here, because we should be working together as a team, and not, everybody doing their own thing and we're not getting anywhere. So that is what I want to say about the agendas. Either way.
Let me interject. The form of government that we have, and instead of charter and everything else, we are city council / city manager / mayor, which has only veto power. But we are the governing body, like I've said on many occasions. Now, whatever agenda items comes up, it's afforded to the city manager. He gets it from the city clerk. I disagree with the one-on-one conversation. That's why I refer now to emails, make notes and all that, and send it to. Can't send it to council, but I can just send it to other folks other than council. We are the body. He is the CEO of the city. Any employee that's under his direction other than city council, then he has lead on, all right? But far as we are concerned, and what the board is concerned about, what we stand for, we are the governing body. He enforces the laws that are enforced. So now, he has the same thing and get the same email. He can get it from the city manager, from the city clerk. He's not blindsided by anybody because you see what goes on. Like I said, I just refuse to have these one-on-ones. I do it by email and go from there. So that's the form of government we have, and that's what you all have elected us to do, to be your voice here at this podium. Sit law, put them in force, and our city manager put those things in force.
I mean, no, I would say no.
I think we better not at this point. So this is a city manager form of government, and I do set the agendas. And with no communication with staff, or with the council, it's hard for me to just see information come through the clerk. It's supposed to come to me first. We're supposed to discuss it back and forth with the council. And then once we discuss things, sometimes we may not even need to put it on the agenda once we've discussed it, but it's like nobody wants to come to my office and discuss anything, which I would love to, because communication is the key to fixing everything. So at this point, that I set the agenda, then you enact policy, and then I carry the policy out. This is what it's supposed to work.
Not the form of government that
But
we should abide by.
We
Hold on.
will get the ordinance for everybody
Get all
to
that.
have, so that everybody would understand what it is.
We understand, city council understand, you are not our boss, we're your boss.
You are my
You
boss.
answer to us. We do not, you get your agenda, like everybody's get their agenda. We put it on the board, send it to the city clerk. You can see, you're not blindsided by anybody. You can see what goes on as far as agenda item. Now, this one-on-one meetings and all that you're talking about, that's why I did email, to remind you, this is a public setting, all right? Bring these things up in a public setting. When we in private setting, then it's one-on-one. You say, I say, but the public need to know. That's why I bring things down, let the public see what's going on and hear what's going on. We answer to them, not, and you answer to us. That's what I understand about our government and what was done back in 2012 when we first initiated. And I sat on, Mr. Stefan Blue as well. I was president. I sat on that redoing the
Charter review.
right, charter review. And we brought it before council. And then we all of a sudden went from, because they wanted a city manager government rather than city administration. Used to be for the Marion home. All right, so we done that. We presented that. That's back in 2012. And we've operated since. Then we started hiring city managers. And I think Mr. Williams was the first city manager.
And I went to Mr. Williams one time to get on the agenda, and he wouldn't let me be on the agenda, you know, when I was a private citizen.
I don't know what
He was the one
transpired.
that set the agendas.
Right, well, not accordingly.
He ran it proper.
So I'll make sure there is the copy of the ordinances here for everybody. I'll make sure everybody has it by tomorrow, so that everybody understands.
Can I go on record and say that I don't, and you're not speaking for the entire council, because you're not speaking for me, Mr. Jefferson, I can tell you that. I understand how things are supposed to work, I understand how they work, I feel like I work within those confines pretty well, and the system works great if you are doing that, so.
Well, we all have our opinion. Keep yours out, express mine.
Anything else?
All right, upset, Rob, is you mad?
I'm good. I'm good.
No, I'm not,
Don't touch me, sir. I'm gonna tell you that the last time, I will tell you, do not ever touch me again,
Well,
please. I'm
we-
going on record and
what do we wanna
saying,
do?
if you touch me
What you wanna
again, then it'll be defense, but
what you gonna do?
you can do whatever you think you
Well-
can do, but if you really wanna go there, we can go there in the public setting in front of the public.
We are not going there. He says,
I have the right to speak as well, and I'm gonna make my point very well known right now. I have zero confidence in Mr. Jefferson's aptitude, ability, and willingness to make decisions. So I have zero respect for you.
That's your opinion.
And that's right, and we're gonna
Now,
follow.
let us go on with the meeting.
Mr. President, let's take a
Get some vice president
No,
to go with the
we
meeting.
can continue, because I can overcome this, but I'm just telling you.
No, I mean, you can do what
It's
you want to do.
this, Robin.
I will. You can test your manhood. Let's go.
Let's go, let's invite Mr. Bridges up to speak.
All right, 6A.
Brenda Williams,
14 Southwest Lincoln, and I'm going to assist Mr. Darrell Bridget.
I'm Darrell Bridget. I'm 43, 09, 508, 7 different properties in the city of Loudoun. I came here to today to request I came here today to request my license for my beer and wine.
For clarification, what the issue is that Mr. Bridget has presented a package for a new alcoholic beverage license, and he's gone through it, and he's liking one signature from having his package completed. And that is for the zoning, to be completed by the zoning authority governing your business location. And he is requesting that Mr. George would sign this form for him, and this would complete his application so that he can submit it. And then this is all you need, am I correct?
Correct.
So his question is that he's going to present this to, considering that he cannot go over to Mr. George's place of business, that if he can present it to Mr. Session, so you can give this to Mr. George for his signature, and you can return it back to Mr. Bridget. Is that permissible to you?
You can present it to me, and then I will have Mr. Curtis explain the problems with the zoning.
What is the problem?
Situation with the zoning.
He's noticed that in his previous package, it was already zoned with alcoholic beverages from his previous zoning. And this is what his question is, if it was previous zoned that, why does he have to go through all this again, even though it was already zoned that? That's the question.
That's
you talk to him.
where Mr. Curtis has a
Right.
lot more information.
Right, okay. He's going to give him Mr. Curtis to do that.
He didn't already gave it to him, he won't sign it for whatever reason, but I done finished all of the.
You've done everything that I've seen you need to do up to this point.
Right.
It changes at the alcohol part. So I'm gonna let Mr. Curtis explain that part.
You mind me to this? Can we see this?
Yeah.
George Curtis, Development Manager, City of Live Oak. I sent out an email to the council on September 11th at 10:49 a.m. explaining this. But the bottom line is, and I'll have to defer to that email for details, the zoning requires a public hearing before the Board of Adjustment in a public hearing setting. For them to vote, they can vote to approve with conditions, or deny the request. It requires an application, a fee, public notice, and just like any other public type requirement that we have in our code, it goes through that process to allow everybody to participate in the decision. So it's not anything I can do myself because that's what the zoning requires. That's all I have to say about it. I do have an email that was sent out, and I'll defer to that for any other details or information. I'm not prepared to answer any questions. Thank you.
Are you prepared to answer about the,
No, sir. No, sir.
why are you not?
Because I'm not. I have the right to remain silent, don't I? Right?
All right.
Y'all see what's going on?
Let me clear this up. At this point in time, George must not be completely prepared. So I will get the information from him to explain to everybody what the next steps are. And we'll vet that through the attorney also. And then we'll re-present this and bring it back to the board at the next meeting with a lot more clarification than we got tonight.
Well, now, since he's up under your direction, Mr. Curtis, the question is, he sent out, and I seen the little package about fencing, shrubbery, flowers, and everything else that was shown to me by Mr. Bridges on that. That's the question I was going to ask you about. What these criteria, when they came up, well, all of a sudden now, these criteria that he has to meet in order to get his business open.
George's not going to probably answer right now, but The best that I can tell you is this business has been around a long time, a little convenience store.
1905.
I don't know that it sold alcohol, I don't know if it did or did not in the past, okay? What I do know is that when you get past the level of where they're at right now with convenience store items and tobacco, then it's not affecting parking and things like that. Now, the property itself, the way it's laid out, doesn't have all of those things that any other business that sells alcohol is supposed to do. At that point, that's all I know at this point, because I'm not an expert on it. But I will get all the information for every one of y'all in detail to be looked at to make sure everybody understands. But to my recollection and discussion with Mr. Curtis is once it moves to alcohol, it moves to another level of not ordinance, but of a description for the type of business it is when you go to tobacco, or you go to alcohol.
Okay, Mr. Sessions, and to you, Mr. George. I understand the email that went through. But what I don't understand right now is the position that you're taking. I hear from everybody in this city, ask George a question, he has all the answers. Now, for you to sit here to be an employee and to represent this city, and you're saying you don't have an answer, but you can't, I find that rather disturbing.
Sure, let me clarify.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a quasi-judicial matter based on sworn testimony and competent evidence. And so anything that is discussed about this matter could be used in that legal proceeding before the Board of Adjustment as competent evidence and sworn testimony. Until we are in that meeting and they swear in everybody that's there to testify, I am unable to comment on it. It is a legal matter that requires a quasi-judicial hearing before the planning board / Board of Adjustment. And that's what the email says, and I cannot comment any further. It says no